Focus on high-value activities. The second question that you should ask yourself all day long is, what are my highest value activities? These are the activities that represent the highest and best use of your talents, skills, experience and abilities as they relate to your company, career and organization. What are they? If you are not absolutely sure of the answers, go and ask your boss what he or she thinks your highest value activities might be. Whatever the answer, dedicate yourself to working on these specific tasks all day long. Work on your key result areas. The third question you should ask all day long is, what are my key result areas? As we mentioned earlier, your key result areas are those tasks that you absolutely, positively must complete in an excellent fashion if you are to achieve the most important results required of your job. They largely determine your success or failure at work. You should clearly identify each of these tasks and then focus on not only performing at your best in each of them, but also at becoming better in each key result area every day. Remember, your weakest key skill sets the height at which you can use all your other skills. Don't allow yourself to be held back because of a weakness in one area, especially when you can learn anything you need to know to excel in that particular area. Make a difference. The fourth question you should ask yourself throughout the day is this: what can I and only I do, that if done well, will make a real difference to my company? This is one of the best questions of all for keeping yourself focused and on track. What is it that you and only you can do that can make the greatest difference in your career? Again, if you are not sure of the answer, go and ask your boss. Sometimes, he or she will not have thought this through before you bring him or her the question. Sometimes, he or she will not have thought about it at all. But once both of you are in agreement on the one or two things you can do that will make more of a difference than anything else, you should focus all of your energies on performing those particular tasks quickly and well. This will do more to help you in your career than any other single decision you make. The most important question of all. The fifth question, and perhaps the best question in all of time management, is this: what is the most valuable use of my time, right now? All techniques and methods of goal setting, personal planning and time management are aimed at helping you to accurately answer this question, every minute of every day. What is the most valuable use of your time, right now? When you discipline yourself to ask and answer this question repeatedly, and you are sure that whatever you are doing is the answer to this question, you will start to accomplish 2 and 3 times as much as the people around you. You will become more and more productive. You will plow through more work of higher value, and accomplish greater results than anyone around you. Discipline yourself to keep working on the most valuable use of your time, whatever it may be at the moment, and your success is guaranteed. Become intensely result-oriented. In the final analysis, the key to high productivity and performance is this: dedicate yourself to getting better and better at the few things that you do that account for most of your results. Simultaneously, learn to delegate, outsource and eliminate all those tasks and activities that contribute very little to your results and rewards. As Goethe said, the things that matter most must never be at the mercy of the things that matter least. Perhaps the best single word in time management is the word, no. Just say, no, to any demand on your time that is not the most valuable use of your time at the moment. Develop the habits of time management. The good news is that time management is a skill and a discipline that you can learn with practice. One rule for success is, develop good habits and make them your masters. You can become excellent at time management with daily practice. Make a list of your tasks every day, before you begin. Organize your list by priority, separating the urgent from the important, and using the 80-20 rule or the ABCDE method. Choose your most important task and then begin working immediately on that task. Discipline yourself to concentrate single-mindedly on that one task or activity until it is 100% complete. Each time you complete an important task, you will experience a burst of elation, enthusiasm and heightened self-esteem. You will feel energized and stronger. You will feel happier and more in control of your life. You will feel on top of your work. You will be even more motivated to start and complete your next major task. Whenever you find yourself slowing down, or experiencing the urge to procrastinate or delay, repeat to yourself, do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Develop a sense of urgency. Create a bias for action. Get started, get going, and work fast. Discipline yourself to select your most important task and then launch into it immediately and then stay with it until it is done. These time management practices are the keys to peak performance in every part of your life. Manage your time well. 1. Make a list of everything you would like to be, do or have in the months and years ahead. Analyze your list and select those items that can have the greatest possible consequences on your life. 2. Make a list of everything you have to do the next day the evening before. Let your subconscious mind work on your list while you sleep. 3. Organize your list by priority using the 80-20ths rule and the ABCDE method. Separate the urgent from the non-urgent and the important from the non-important before you begin. 4. Select the most important task, the one with the greatest possible consequences for completion or non-completion, and circle it, making it your A1 job. 5. Begin immediately on your most important task and then discipline yourself to concentrate single-mindedly on this one task until it is 100% complete. Chapter 15. Review your goals daily. It is a psychological law that whatever we wish to accomplish we must impress on the subjective or subconscious mind. Orison Swett Martin. Sometimes I ask my audiences, how many people here would like to double their incomes? Not surprisingly, everyone raises his or her hand. I then go on to say, well, I have good news for you. Everybody here is going to double their income, guaranteed if you live long enough. If your income increases at the rate of 3% to 4% per year, the average annual cost of living increase, you will double your income in about 20 years. But that is a long time to wait. So the real question is not about doubling your income. The real question is, how fast can you do it? Double the speed of goal attainment. There are many techniques that can help you to achieve your personal and financial goals faster. In this chapter, I want to share with you a special method that has taken more people from rags to riches than any other single method ever discovered. It is simple, fast, effective and guaranteed to work, if you will practice it. Earlier, I said, you become what you think about, most of the time. This is the great truth that underlies all religion, philosophy, psychology and success. As a teacher of mine, John Boyle, once said, whatever you can hold in your mind on a continuing basis, you can have. This is the key. Positive thinking versus positive knowing. Many people today talk about the importance of positive thinking. Positive thinking is important, but it is not enough. Left undirected and uncontrolled, positive thinking can quickly degenerate into positive wishing and positive hoping. Instead of serving as an energy force for inspiration and higher achievement, positive thinking can become little more than a generally cheerful attitude toward life, and whatever happens to you, positive or negative. To be focused and effective in goal attainment, positive thinking must translate into positive knowing. You must absolutely know and believe, in the depths of your being, that you are going to be successful at achieving a particular goal. You must proceed completely without doubt. You must be so resolute and determined, so convinced of your ultimate success, that nothing can stop you. Program your subconscious mind. Everything that you do to program your subconscious mind with this unshakable conviction of success will help you achieve your goals faster. This method I am going to share with you can actually multiple your talents and abilities, and greatly increase the speed at which you move from wherever you are to wherever you want to go. One of the important mental laws is, whatever is impressed, is expressed. Whatever you impress deeply into your subconscious mind will eventually be expressed in your external world. Your aim in mental programming is to impress your goals deeply into your subconscious mind so that they lock in and take on a power of their own. This method helps you to do that. Systematic versus random goal setting. For many years, I worked away at my goals, writing them down once or twice a year and then reviewing them whenever I got a chance. Even this was enough to make an incredible difference in my life. Often, I would write down a list of goals for myself in January for the coming year. In December of that year, I would review my list and find that most of the goals had been accomplished, including some of the biggest and most unbelievable goals on the list. I then learned the technique that changed my life. I discovered that if it is powerful for you to write down your goals once a year, it is even more powerful for you to write down your goals more often. Some authors suggest that you write down and review your goals once a month, others once a week. What I learned was the power of writing and rewriting your goals every single day. Write down your goals each day. Here is the technique. Get a spiral notebook that you keep with you at all times. Each day, open up your notebook and write down a list of your 10 to 15 most important goals, without referring to your previous list. Do this every day, day after day. As you do this, several remarkable things will happen. The first day you write down your list of goals, you will have to give it some thought and reflection. Most people have never made a list of their 10 top goals in their entire lives. The second day you write out your list, without reference to your previous list, it will be easier. However, your 10 to 15 goals will change, both in description and order of priority. Sometimes, a goal that you wrote one day will not appear the next day. It may even be forgotten and never reappear again. Or it may reappear later at a more appropriate time. Each day that you write down your list of 10 to 15 goals, your definitions will become clearer and sharper. You will eventually find yourself writing down the same words every day. Your order of priority will also change as your life changes around you. But over time, after about 30 days, you will find yourself writing and rewriting the same goals every day. Your life takes off. And at about this time, something remarkable will happen in your life. It will take off. You will feel like a passenger in a jet hurtling down the runway. Your work and personal life will begin to improve dramatically. Your mind will sparkle with ideas and insights. You will start to attract people and resources into your life to help you to achieve your goals. You will start to make progress at a rapid rate, sometimes so fast that it will be a little scary. Everything will begin to change in a very positive way. Over the years, I have spoken in 23 countries and addressed more than 2 million people. I have shared this 10-goal exercise with hundreds of thousands of seminar participants. The exercise that I give them is a little simpler than the exercise that I am giving you here. Here it is. I ask my audience members to make a list of 10 goals that they want to accomplish in the coming year. I tell them to put the list away for 12 months and then open it up. When they open up the list after a year, it will be as though a magic trick has been performed. In almost every case, 8 out of their 10 goals will have been accomplished, sometimes in the most remarkable ways. I have given this exercise all over the world, to people in every language and culture. In virtually every case, when I return to their cities and countries, people line up to talk to me, like in a wedding receiving line, and tell me story after story about how their lives have changed after writing down their 10 goals a year or more ago. Putting this method to work. In the exercise that we are discussing in this chapter, you will learn to get results that are far greater and far faster than those enjoyed by people who write their goals down only one time. Your results will double and triple and increase 5 and 10 times as you use the same power of goal setting we have discussed earlier, but you will now be writing your goals down every day. There are some special rules that you must follow to get the most out of this exercise. First, you must use the 3P formula. Your goals must be written and described in the positive, present and personal tenses. Activate your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is only activated by affirmative statements phrased in the present tense. You therefore write down your goals as though you have already accomplished them. Instead of saying, I will earn $50,000 in the next 12 months, you would say, I earn $50,000 per year. Your goals must be stated positively as well. Instead of saying, I will quit smoking, or, I will lose a certain number of pounds of weight, you would say, I am a non-smoker. Or, I weigh X number of pounds. Your command must be positive because your subconscious mind cannot process a negative command. It is only receptive to a positive, present tense statement. The third, P, stands for personal. From now on, and for the rest of your life, write out every goal beginning with the word, I, followed by a verb of some kind. You are the only person in the universe who can use the word, I, in relation to yourself. When your subconscious mind receives a command that begins with the word, I, it is as though the factory floor receives a production order from the head office. It goes to work immediately to bring that goal into your reality. For example, you would not say, my goal is to earn $50,000 per year. Instead, you would say, I earn $50,000 per year. Begin each of your goals with phrases such as, I earn, I weigh, I achieve, I win, I drive such and such a car, I live in a such and such a home, I climb such and such a mountain, and so on. Set deadlines on your goals. To add power to your daily written goals, put a deadline at the end of each goal. For example, you might write, I earn an average of $5,000 per month by December 31st, followed by a particular year. As we discussed in an earlier chapter, your mind loves deadlines and thrives on a forcing system. Even if you do not know how the goal is going to be achieved, always give yourself a firm deadline. Remember, you can always change the deadline with new information. But be sure you have a deadline, like an exclamation point, after every goal. How badly do you want it? This exercise of writing out your 10 goals every single day is a test. The test is to determine how badly you really want to achieve these goals. Often you will write out a goal and then forget to write it down again. This simply means that you either don't really want to achieve that goal as much as something else, or you don't really believe that that goal is achievable for you. However, the more you can discipline yourself to write and rewrite your goals each day, the clearer you will become about what you really want, and the more convinced you will become that it is possible for you. Trust the process. When you begin writing your goals, you may have no idea how they will be accomplished. But this is not important. All that matters is that you write and rewrite them every day, in complete faith, knowing that every single time you write them down, you are impressing them deeper and deeper into your subconscious mind. At a certain point, you will begin to believe, with absolute conviction, that your goal is achievable. Once your subconscious mind accepts your goals as commands from your conscious mind, it will start to make all your words and actions fit a pattern consistent with those goals. Your subconscious mind will start attracting into your life people and circumstances that can help you to achieve your goal. Your mental computer works 24 hours per day. Your subconscious mind works 24 hours a day, like a massive computer that is never turned off, to help bring your goals into reality. Almost without your doing anything, your goals will begin to materialize in your life, sometimes in the most remarkable and unexpected ways. Some years ago, I met with a businessman in Los Angeles who had an absolutely ridiculous idea. He wanted to raise many millions of dollars in investment capital to create an amusement park in Hawaii that would be composed of restaurants, displays and exhibits from a variety of different countries from around the world. He was absolutely convinced that it would be a big attraction and that he could get the support and backing of all these different countries, as long as he could raise the startup money to launch the project. In my youth and experience, I gently told him that I thought his idea was a complete fantasy. The complexity and expense of such a massive undertaking was so vast for a person of his limited resources that it would be a complete waste of time. I thanked him for his offer of a job in putting this whole plan together and politely departed. This was in the 1960s. The next thing I heard about this project was that the Walt Disney Corporation had embraced it in its entirety, called it the Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow Epcot Center, and had begun construction on it next to its Disneyland in Orlando, Florida. The amusement park and development has gone on to make hundreds of millions of dollars, year after year, and become one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. Activate all the forces in the universe. Here is the point. At that time, as a young man, I did not know that when you write down a goal, no matter how big or impossible it seems, you activate a series of forces in the universe that often make the impossible possible. I will explain this in great detail in the chapter on the superconscious mind. Whenever you write down a new goal of any kind, you may be skeptical and doubtful about the likelihood of accomplishing it. You may have the idea in your conscious mind, but you will have not yet developed the total belief and conviction that is possible for you. This is normal and natural. Don't let it stop you from using this method every day. Just do it. All that is required to make this method work is for you to get a spiral notebook and then to discipline yourself each day to write down your 10 goals in the positive, present, personal tense. That's all you need. In a week, a month or a year, you will look around you and see that your whole life will have transformed in the most remarkable ways. Even if you are skeptical about this method, it only requires about 5 minutes per day to try it out for yourself. The good news is that I have never met a person, in more than 20 years, who has ever told me that this method does not work. It is quite the opposite. I get letters, phone calls, emails and personal testimonials almost every day from people all over the country, and all over the world, whose lives have transformed so dramatically with this method as to be beyond belief. Multiply your results. You can multiply the effectiveness of this method with a couple of additional techniques. First, after you have written down your goal in the positive, personal, present tense, write down at least 3 actions that you could take immediately to achieve that goal, also in the present, positive, personal tense. For example, your goal could be to earn a certain amount of money. You could write, I earn $50,000 over the next 12 months. You could then write, immediately underneath, 1. I plan every day in advance. 2. I start in immediately on my most important tasks. 3. I concentrate single-mindedly on my most important task until it is complete. Whatever your goal, you can easily think of 3 action steps that you can take immediately to achieve that goal. When you write down the action steps, you program them into your subconscious mind along with the goal. At a certain point, you will find yourself actually taking the steps that you wrote down, sometimes without even thinking about it. And each step you take will move you more rapidly toward your ultimate objective. Use 3x5 index cards. Another way that you can increase the effectiveness of daily goal setting is by transferring your goals to 3x5 index cards. Write one goal on each card in large letters. Carry these cards with you at all times. Whenever you have a few spare moments, take out your index cards and review your goals, one by one. Each of these goals should be written as a personal, positive, present tense affirmation. Someone once said, I would rather a morning without breakfast than a morning without affirmations. Each time you use these cards, take a few moments, breath deeply and relax, and then review each of your goals, one at a time. As you read the goal to yourself, imagine the goal as though it were already a reality. Actually see yourself at the goal, enjoying the goal, feeling the pleasure of having achieved the goal. Alternately, as you read your index cards, you can imagine specific steps that you can take immediately to achieve that goal. You should actually imagine yourself taking those steps. Then relax, and go on to the next goal. Ideally, you should review your goals on index cards twice per day. Read them once in the morning before you start off and once in the evening before you go to bed. You can also carry them around with you and review them during the day, whenever you have a few spare moments. The best times for mental programming. There are 2 times of the day that are ideal for writing and rewriting your goals, and for reading and reviewing your index cards. These are, the last thing in the evening, before you go to bed, and the first thing in the morning, before you start off. When you rewrite and review your goals in the evening, you program them into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind then has an opportunity to work on your goals all night long while you are sleeping. You will often arise with wonderful ideas for things to do or people to call to help you achieve your goals. When you rewrite and review your goals in the morning, before you start off, you set yourself up for positive thinking and positive acting all day long. Just as physical exercise in the morning warms up your physical body and muscles, reviewing your goals in the morning warms up your mind and prepares you to be at your very best throughout the day. The sum total result of rewriting and reviewing your goals each day, morning and evening, is that you will impress them ever more deeply into your subconscious mind. You will gradually move from positive thinking to positive knowing. You will develop a deep and unshakable conviction that your goals are attainable, and that it is only a matter of time before you achieve them, and you will be right. Review your goals daily. 1. Get yourself a spiral notebook this very day and write down 10 to 15 goals that you would like to achieve in the foreseeable future. 2. Create a set of 3x5 index cards with your goals written out in the positive, personal, present tense to carry with you wherever you go. 3. Visualize and imagine your goals as they would be when you have achieved them each night before you go to sleep. 4. Think of 3 things you could do to achieve each of your goals. Always think in terms of specific actions you could take. 5. Discipline yourself to rewrite your goals every day, without reviewing your previous list, until you become absolutely convinced that achieving your goals is inevitable. Chapter 16. Visualize your goals continually. Cherish your visions and your dreams as they are the children of your soul, the blueprints of your ultimate achievements. Napoleon Hill. You possess and have available to you virtually unlimited mental powers. The average person is unaware of these powers and fails to use them for goal attainment. That is why his or her results are only average. When you begin to tap into and unleash the power of your subconscious and superconscious minds, you will often achieve more in a year or two than the average person achieves in a lifetime. You will start moving more rapidly toward your goals than you can currently imagine. Your most powerful faculty. Your ability to visualize is perhaps the most powerful faculty that you possess. All improvement in your life begins with an improvement in your mental pictures. You are where you are and what you are today largely because of the mental pictures that you hold in your conscious mind at the present time. As you change your mental pictures on the inside, your world on the outside will begin to change to correspond to those pictures. Visualization activates the law of attraction, which draws into your life the people, circumstances and resources that you need to achieve your goals. Visualization activates the law of correspondence, which says, as within, so without. As you change your mental pictures on the inside, your world on the outside, like a mirror, begins to change. Just as you become what you think about most of the time, you become what you visualize most of the time, as well. Mental pictures become your reality. Wayne Dyer says, you will see it when you believe it. Jim Cathcart says, the person you see is the person you will be. Dennis Waitley says that your mental images are your previews of your life's coming attractions. Albert Einstein said, imagination is more important than facts. Napoleon Bonaparte said, imagination rules the world. Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. The importance of vision. The most common characteristic of leaders at all levels, throughout the ages, is that leaders have vision. This means that they can visualize and imagine an ideal future, well in advance of it becoming a reality. Just as Walt Disney clearly saw a happy, clean, family-oriented amusement park many years before Disneyland was built, everything worthwhile in your life begins with a mental picture of some kind, as well. As it happens, you are always visualizing something, one way or another. Every time you think of someone or something, remember a past event, imagine an upcoming event, or even daydream while you are sitting or driving along, you are visualizing. It is essential that you learn to manage and control this visualizing capability of your mind and focus it, like a laser beam, in the direction of achieving the goals that are most important to you. See the success you desire. Successful people are those who visualize the kind of success they want to enjoy, in advance. Prior to every new experience, the successful person visualizes previous success experiences that are similar to the upcoming event. A successful salesperson will visualize and remember previous successful sales presentations. A successful trial lawyer will visualize and remember his performance in court during a previous successful trial. A successful doctor or surgeon will visualize and remember his or her successful treatment of a patient in the past. Unsuccessful people, on the other hand, also use visualization, but to their detriment. Unsuccessful people, prior to a new event, recall, reflect upon and visualize their previous, failure experiences. They think about the last time they failed or did poorly in this area and they imagine failing again. As a result, when they go into the new experience, their subconscious minds have been pre-programmed for failure, rather than success. Feed your mind with exciting images. You always perform on the outside consistent with your self-image on the inside. Your self-image is made up of the mental pictures that you feed into your mind prior to any event. And the good news is that you have complete control over your mental pictures, for good or for ill. You can choose to feed your mind with positive, exciting, success images, or you can, by default, end up allowing yourself to be preoccupied by failure images. The choice is up to you. Almost everything that you have achieved in life, or failed to achieve, is the result of the use or misuse of visualization. If you look back, you will find that almost everything you visualized positively eventually came true for you. You visualized completing school, and you did it. You visualized getting your first car, and you got it. You visualized your first romance or relationship and you met the right person. You visualized taking a trip, getting a job, finding an apartment or purchasing certain clothes, and they all came true for you. Take control of your mental pictures. You have been using the power of visualization continuously throughout your life. But the problem is that most people use visualization in a random and haphazard way, sometimes to help themselves and sometimes to hurt themselves. Your goal should be to take complete control of the visualization process, and be sure that your mind and mental images are focused continually on the things that you want to have and the person that you want to be. The indispensable man. George Washington, the first President of the United States, and considered by most historians to be the indispensable man, at the founding of the American Republic, started his life in humble circumstances. He was born in a small house and raised with few advantages. But he was ambitious, and at an early age he decided that he had to mold and shape his character and personality so that he could become the kind of person who would be accepted and successful in society. The guiding influence of his young life became a book with 130 rules for manners and deportment. He read this book over and over again, and eventually committed it to memory. Thereafter, he practiced the very best behaviors of courtesy and manners in his every interaction with other people. By the time he became a powerful figure in the American Revolution, he was described as one of the most courtly and gentlemanly men in the American colonies. Develop your own character. Benjamin Franklin, America's first millionaire, a founding father and a remarkable statesman, diplomat and inventor, started as a penniless boy in Philadelphia, apprenticed to a small printing company. He was outspoken and argumentative, and often made enemies who then contrived to hurt his chances and hold him back. At a certain point in his young life, as Benjamin Franklin reveals in his autobiography, he realized that his personality was in great danger of hurting his chances for long-term success in early American society. He therefore decided to develop within himself a series of key virtues, such as sincerity, humility, temperance, discipline and honesty, that he felt he would have to possess if he wanted to achieve his full potential. For many years, week after week, both Washington and Franklin practiced visualization on themselves. They thought of a characteristic or quality that they wanted to embody. They visualized and imagined themselves as possessing that quality. In every interaction with other people, they referred to this inner mirror to see how they should behave, and then carried themselves in a manner consistent with that ideal inner picture. Over time, these mental images became so deeply impressed on their subconscious minds that the mannerisms and the person became one. You are what you can be. Piero Ferrucci, in his book The Power to Be, explains how you can develop any quality you desire by dwelling upon that quality continually and imagining that you have it already. Read about the quality. Learn about the quality. And especially, imagine yourself practicing that quality whenever it is needed. Aristotle wrote that the very best way to develop a virtue, if you currently lack it, is to imagine and to behave in every respect as though you already had the virtue, whenever that virtue is called for. See and think about yourself as you can be, not just as you might be today. Gradually, you become that new person. Change your mental pictures. In essence, you control the molding and shaping of your own personality and character by the mental images that you dwell upon hour by hour and minute by minute. By changing your mental images, you change the way you think, feel and act. You change the way that you treat other people and the way they respond to you. You change your performance and your results. You can actually remake yourself in the image of the very best person that you can imagine yourself becoming. This is all part of the constructive use of visualization. Perform at your best. In professional athletics there is a training method called mental rehearsal. Top athletes in every field mentally rehearse their events before they go into active competition. They see themselves performing at their best prior to every event. For many days and hours prior to a major competition, they practice visualizing themselves performing successfully, over and over again. They will continuously recall their personal bests in previous competitions and replay this personal best like a movie of the mind in their own mental screening room. They will see themselves doing well over and over. They will create and enjoy the emotions of joy and satisfaction that accompany peak performance. They will become excited and happy about doing so well in the upcoming competition. And when the competition begins, as far as they are concerned, they have already won. Relax deeply and see the desired result. Figure skaters, for example, will play the music to their skating routines over and over again while they sit, deeply relaxed, eyes closed, imagining themselves skating on the ice. One of the benefits of skating in their minds is that they never fall or make a mistake during this process of mental preparation. They see themselves skating their routines perfectly, over and over again, before they actually go onto the ice. By this time, their subconscious minds have been trained to take them through their routines smoothly and gracefully. Your physical body has no mind of its own. The slightest movement of your fingers or toes is controlled by your central computer, your brain. It is your mind that sends impulses of nerve energy down your spine and throughout your body to your muscles to coordinate your physical activities. When you visualize, you actually train your master computer. You program your mind with the performance that you want your body to carry out. 4 parts of visualization. There are 4 parts of visualization that you can learn and practice to assure that you use this incredible power to its best advantage all the days of your life. How often? The first aspect of visualization is frequency. Frequency refers to the number of times that you visualize a particular goal is achieved, or yourself performing in an excellent way in a particular event or circumstance. The more frequently you repeat a clear mental picture of your very best performance or result, the more rapidly it will be accepted by your subconscious mind and the more readily it will appear as part of your reality. How long? The second element of visualization is the duration of the mental image. Duration refers to the length of time that you can hold the picture in your mind each time you replay it. When you deeply relax, you can often hold a mental picture of yourself performing at your best for several seconds, and even several minutes. The longer you can hold your mental picture, the more deeply it will be impressed into your subconscious mind, and the more rapidly it will express itself in your subsequent performance. How clearly? The third element of visualization is vividness. There is a direct relationship between how clearly you can see your desired goal or result in your mind, and how quickly it comes into your reality. This element of visualization is what explains the powers of the law of attraction and the law of correspondence. The vividness of your desire directly determines how quickly it materializes in the world around you. Here is an interesting point. When you set a new goal for yourself, your image or picture of this goal will usually be vague and fuzzy. You may have no idea at all what the successful goal will look like. But the more often you write it, review it and repeat it mentally, the clearer it becomes for you. At a certain point, it will become crystal clear. At that point, the goal will suddenly appear in your world, exactly as you imagined it. How intensely? The fourth element of visualization is intensity. The intensity of a visualization refers to the amount of emotion that you attach to your visual image. In reality, this is the most important and powerful part of the visualization process. Sometimes, if your emotion is intense enough and your visual image is clear enough, your goal will immediately come true. Nature is neutral. Of course, the elements of frequency, duration, vividness and intensity can help you or hurt you. Nature is neutral. The power of visualization is neutral as well. It is like a two-edged sword. It can cut in either direction. It can either make you a success or make you a failure. Visualization brings you whatever you vividly and intensely imagine, whether good or bad. For example, worry is a form of negative goal setting. It is the process of thinking about, imagining and visualizing, combined with feelings of fear and anxiety, exactly those things that you don't want to happen. But because visualization is neutral, when you worry, you are using this power in a negative way, exactly those things that you don't want will be attracted into your life. In the book of Job, he says, "That which I greatly feared has come upon me." This refers to the unhappy consequences of negative visualization. You must be very careful how you use this visualizing power. Design your dream home. When my wife and I got married, we had very little money, and after I started my own business, what little we had quickly ran out. Nonetheless, like all couples, we talked about someday having our dream home. We fantasized about living in the perfect home for ourselves and our family. Eventually, we decided to put the powers of visualization to work for us in the acquisition of our dream home. Although we were living in a rented house at the time, and had very little money, we subscribed to several magazines that described beautiful homes for sale around the country. We read Better Homes and Gardens, and Architectural Digest. On the weekends, we went to open houses in the best neighborhoods in town. We walked through the rooms of beautiful, expensive homes and imagined living in those surroundings. In complete faith that the process would eventually work, we created a scrapbook made up of pictures and descriptions of beautiful homes. Over time, we created a list of 42 items that we wanted to have in our ideal house. Meanwhile, I kept working away at my job, building my business, increasing our income and adding to our savings. Within a year of starting this process, we had moved from a rented house into a beautiful home that we had purchased in a lovely neighborhood. It was ideal in many respects, but we knew in our hearts that it was not yet our dream house. Patience is essential. A year and a half later, we moved again, this time to San Diego. After a solid month spent looking at dozens of homes for sale all over the city, we walked into a home that had just been listed 2 days before and knew immediately that we had found our dream house. We looked at each other without speaking, looked around at the house, and we were both in perfect agreement. It took 2 months of negotiation to finalize the purchase price and 5 more months to arrange the financing, but right on schedule, we took possession of our dream house, and we have lived there ever since. And it turned out to have 41 of the 42 items that we had listed for our perfect home. Think thin. Most people want to be physically fit and trim. Psychologists will tell you that this is only possible when you think thin. One way you can create this mental image of thinness is to take the picture of a person who has the kind of body you would like to have, cut off the head and put your photo there instead. Put this picture on your refrigerator. Make multiple copies of this picture if you can and put them all over your house. Every time you look at a picture of yourself with a beautiful body, your subconscious mind will register it, once again. Eventually, you will find yourself eating less and exercising more. Your outer reality will soon correspond to your inner picture. Find your soul mate. Often single people ask me how they can find their soul mate. I ask them if they have made up a list and created a picture of what their soul mate will look like. They are always surprised and sometimes insulted. They say, "I will know the person when I meet them." But that's not the way it works. Casualness brings casualties. If you don't have a clear idea of what you want, you end up getting something else. I advise them to sit down and write out a complete description of the ideal person that they would like to meet. Write down every single quality and characteristic that they would like their soulmate to have. Be clear about age, temperament, personality, interests, values, background, sense of humor, level of ambition, and so on. It is absolutely amazing what happens. A good friend of mine, a graduate of one of my 3-day seminars, did this immediately after the program. 10 months later, he met a perfect person who fitted his written description perfectly. They got married shortly thereafter, had 2 beautiful children, and have been happy from the first moment they met. If you are single, you should give this technique a try. You might be happily surprised at what happens. As within, so without. In every area of your life, you can use visualization to make it better. Earlier in this book, I talked about the use of idealization. This process involves creating an ideal picture of what you would like your life to look like sometime in the future. Idealizing is just another version of visualizing. Remember, you can't hit a target that you can't see. But if you are absolutely clear about what you want, you will eventually achieve it, sooner or later. The best times to practice. As with goal setting, the 2 best times to visualize are late in the evening or early in the morning. When you visualize your goals as if they already existed before you go to sleep, your subconscious mind accepts them at a deeper and deeper level. It then adjusts your words and actions during the day so that you do and say more and more of those things that will make your goals into realities. Another time to visualize is first thing in the morning, before you start out. Clear mental images of what you want to accomplish during the day will make it far more likely that you achieve those results, exactly as you imagined, and on schedule. The beginning of all improvement. To repeat, all improvement in your life starts with an improvement in your mental pictures. Start today to flood your mind with pictures of the person you want to be, the life you want to live, and the goals you want to achieve. Cut out pictures from magazines and newspapers that are consistent with your goals and desires. Post them everywhere. Review them regularly. Discuss them often. Imagine them continually. Make your life an ongoing process of positive visualization, continually imagining and visioneering your ideal goals and your perfect future. This can do more to help you to step on the accelerator of your own potential than any other exercise you engage in. Visualize your goals continually. 1. Project forward and imagine that your life was perfect in every respect. What would it look like? Whatever your answer, imagine this picture regularly. 2. Cut out pictures of the things you would like to have and the person you would like to be in the future. Look at these pictures and think about what you could do to make them into realities. 3. Practice mental rehearsal before every event of importance. See yourself in your mind's eye as performing at your very best in everything you do or attempt. 4. Continually feed your mind with clear, exciting, emotional pictures. Remember, your imagination is your preview of life's coming attractions. 5. Design your own dream house, dream business or dream career. Write down every ingredient it would have if it were perfect in every respect. Visualize this as a reality every day. Make the process of visualization a regular part of your life. Invest the time regularly to create exciting mental pictures of yourself and your life exactly as you want them to be. Then, have complete faith that your pictures will materialize exactly when you are ready. Chapter 17. Activate your superconscious mind. The subjective mind is entirely under the control of the objective mind. With the utmost fidelity, it works to its final consequence whatever the subjective mind impresses upon it. Thomas Troward. Imagine that you had just moved into a new house and the previous owner, just before leaving, took you aside privately. He explained that there was a special room in the basement that contained a most amazing computer. You could program any goal or question into that computer and it would give you exactly the right answer for you at exactly the right time. It was absolutely infallible. It worked every single time. And every answer would turn out to be perfectly correct. Imagine what an incredible difference this could make in your life. The fact is that you do have such a computer. It is available and accessible to you at any time. It is called your superconscious mind. It is the most powerful faculty ever discovered in all of human history, and you can tap into it any time you want. Throughout this book, I have repeated that, you become what you think about most of the time. I also said, whatever you can hold in your mind on a continuing basis, you can have. In addition, we discussed the laws of attraction and correspondence, and the importance of absolute clarity in determining exactly what you want to be, have and do. In every case, I was referring indirectly to the power of the superconscious mind. The secret of the ages. The superconscious mind has been known about and discussed for thousands of years, throughout all of human history. For most of this time, it was the secret knowledge of the mystics and sages. Access to it was guarded and only taught after many years of loyal study to the devotees of the mystery schools of the ancient world. Only in the last 100 years has the knowledge of the superconscious mind become more generally available, and then, only to a few people. 3 minds in one. Sigmund Freud, the founder of psychotherapy, wrote about the 3 minds, the ego, ID and superego, in 1895 and based much of his work upon these 3 different elements of perception. The ego was described as the I am. It is the part of the mind that is alert and aware, that deals with the external world, that analyzes, decides and takes action. We call this the conscious mind. The ID of Sigmund Freud is the unconscious part of the mind, or what we call the subconscious mind. This is the vast storehouse of memories and feelings where all of our previous thoughts, decisions and experiences are gathered, and which functions automatically, both to operate our physical bodies and to keep our thoughts and feelings consistent with our past experiences. What Sigmund Freud called the superego, the third dimension of thought, was referred to as the oversoul by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Alfred Adler, a student of Freud, referred to it as the collective unconscious, and Carl Jung, who broke away from Freud, called it the supraconscious. Napoleon Hill referred to it as infinite intelligence, and reported that virtually all of the most successful people in America had used it continually throughout their careers and credited it with their most important breakthroughs and accomplishments. Roberto Assagioli, the Italian psychologist, and others refer to it as the superconscious mind, or God mind. No matter what you call it, it is a great universal power that you can access at any time to achieve any goal that you really want, as long as you desire it intensely, long enough and hard enough. The source of all breakthroughs. All important breakthroughs, in all fields, throughout history, have been the result of superconscious functioning. Whenever you have suddenly originated a great idea or insight that solved a problem or resolved a dilemma, you have had a superconscious experience. Great scientific breakthroughs, like the discovery of DNA, or the breakthrough idea combining ceramics with electricity that led to the discovery of superconductivity, were superconscious in origin. The great musicians tapped into and used their superconscious minds repeatedly in the creation of their compositions. Mozart could see an entire opera in his mind, note perfect, before he began writing. He would then transcribe the opera from his mental picture, without a single mistake, the very first time. It could then be played in public without revision. Nothing like this had ever been seen or experienced in all the history of music. Beethoven created his greatest compositions after he went deaf. He could see and hear them in his mind before writing them down on paper. Stephen Hawking, the physicist, was so crippled with Lou Gehrig's disease that he needs a special computer to produce one letter at a time. Nonetheless, by using his superconscious mind, he has become one of the best-selling authors in the world with his book, A Brief History of Time. The greatest inventor of all time. Thomas Edison patented 1093 devices at the U.S. Patent Office, almost all of which were turned into commercial products during his lifetime. At his death in 1931, fully 1/6 of the American workforce was employed in the manufacture and distribution of Thomas Edison-invented products. Edison used his superconscious mind continually throughout his entire career to solve unsolvable problems and achieve historic breakthroughs in electricity, motion pictures, sound recording and transmission, and hundreds of other areas. Although he was deaf, he would take regular naps during the day to access his superconscious mind for insights that led to his numerous inventions. The Great Law. Whenever you see a great and inspiring work of art, read a piece of classic literature or a beautiful poem, hear an extraordinary piece of music or see a remarkable building or construction, you are witnessing the result of the superconscious in action. The law of superconscious activity, perhaps the most important mental law ever discovered, is this: any thought, plan, goal or idea held continuously in the conscious mind must inevitably be brought into reality by the superconscious mind. Just think. Anything that you really want to be, have or do is possible for you. If you can be absolutely clear about what it is and then access your superconscious mind on a regular basis, you will eventually achieve it. The only limits on what your superconscious mind can do for you are the limits that you place on your own mind and imagination. The right operating conditions. Your superconscious mind operates best when you are in a mental state of calm, confident, relaxed expectation. Whenever you practice relaxation and solitude, completely letting go of all your cares, and sit quietly, or commune with nature, your superconscious mind begins to function. Whenever you go into the silence, and listen to the still, small voice within you, you begin to hear the whisperings of your superconscious mind. Your intuition is the equivalent of that supercomputer in the basement of your new home. This is your connection and your contact with the superconscious mind. Sometimes your intuition will speak to you so loudly in the silence that the idea or insight it brings you will change your entire life. The Greek scientist, Archimedes, had a superconscious flash of inspiration about the displacement of objects while sitting in his bath. He became so excited that he leapt from the bath and ran naked through the streets of Athens shouting, "Eureka! I have found it." This is how you often feel when you have a great idea or insight that solves a problem or moves you toward your goal. Activating your superconscious. Your superconscious mind is stimulated by clear, written, specific goals, intensely desired, visualized regularly and constantly worked toward. Whenever you relax, visualize and emotionalize a specific result that you intensely desire, you stimulate your superconscious mind into giving you ideas and energy for goal attainment. Sometimes, a superconscious inspiration can so energize and excite you that you will be unable to sleep or think about anything else. In that case, you should sit down and write out every idea and detail that comes to you. This will often free up your mind and enable you to go back to sleep. Serendipity and synchronicity. The superconscious mind explains two phenomena that you experience regularly throughout your life: serendipity and synchronicity. The more you use your superconscious mind, the more often you will enjoy these two wonderful experiences. Serendipity is the process of making happy discoveries along the road of life. Whenever you have a clear goal that you visualize continually, and that you are working toward each day, happy, unexpected events and experiences seem to occur in your life, each of which seems to help you to achieve your goals even faster. You might come across an article in a magazine, or someone mentions something to you that you didn't know before. You might even flip to a program on television that has exactly the idea or insight you need to solve a particular problem, or answer a key question. You will often have a setback or temporary failure that turns out to be exactly the right thing to happen to you at that moment. Look for the good. The interesting point is that, if you look for something good in every situation, you will always seem to find it. The very attitude of expecting good things to happen to you seems to trigger their occurrence, over and over again. If you calmly and confidently believe in the magic of serendipity, no matter what happens, you will have repeated serendipitous experiences that will help you to achieve your real goals in life. Events connected by meaning. The second phenomenon that you will experience regularly is called synchronicity. This is different from the law of cause and effect, the iron law of the universe, in a special way. The law of cause and effect says that everything happens for a specific reason, and that there is a traceable cause for every effect. With synchronicity, however, the only relationship between two events that occur simultaneously is the meaning that you give to them by the goals that you have in different areas of your life. Here is an example. You set a goal to double your income. But the following week, you either quit or get fired, completely unexpectedly. This initially looks like a real setback. But the next day in conversation, a friend asks you if you have ever thought of working in a particular field. As it happens, you had read several articles about that field over the past year, and you had thought of getting into it, but you did not know how to go about it. You decide to investigate further, identify a growing company, interview for a job, start work, and 1 year later you find yourself earning twice as much as you were at your previous job, and enjoying it more. You will notice that there was no direct cause and effect relationship between these separate events. They seemed to be disconnected in time and space. But they had one thing in common. They helped you to achieve the real goal that you had set for yourself, to double your income. 2 ways to stimulate your superconscious mind. There are 2 ways for you to stimulate your superconscious mind into action. The first is for you to concentrate and work intensely on achieving your goal. Throw your whole heart into what you are doing. Think about it, talk about, write it, rewrite it, and review it every single day. Do everything that you can possibly think of that can help you to attain that goal. When you dedicate yourself to continuous, determined forward action toward the accomplishment of your goal, all sorts of serendipitous and synchronous events will happen to you and for you. People will emerge from unexpected places to help you. You will receive phone calls and offers of assistance. You will come across ideas and information that you would not have recognized before. You will have ideas and insights that move you even faster toward your goal. The second way to stimulate your superconscious mind is to relax completely and get your mind busy elsewhere. For example, when you go on vacation, you often become so busy doing other things that you don't think about your goals or problems at all. It seems that the more you can completely relax and let go, both mentally and physically, the more rapidly your superconscious mind will click into action and begin giving you the ideas and insights that you need. It seems that the harder that you don't try, the faster your superconscious mind will work for you. You should try both methods on every goal. First, work with single-minded concentration on the goal. Commit 100% of your energies to solving the problem. Then, if you have still not experienced the breakthrough you desire, get your mind busy elsewhere. Take some time off. Go on vacation. Engage in physical exercise, or go to a movie. Forget about it completely for a while. Then, at exactly the right time, your superconscious mind will function and the answer will appear. Exactly the right answer. Your superconscious mind will bring you the exact answer you need, at exactly the right time for you. Therefore, when you receive a superconscious inspiration, you should take action immediately. Don't delay. This is often time-dated information. If you get an inner urge to take an action or make a phone call, move on it quickly. If you have a hunch about something, follow up on it. It seems that the very act of moving on a superconscious flash will trigger additional superconscious insights and inspirations that will help you. 3 special qualities. A superconscious idea or solution has 3 qualities. First, it will answer every aspect of the problem, or give you everything you need to achieve your goal. The answer will be complete in every respect. Second, it will be a blinding flash of the obvious. A superconscious inspiration will feel natural, easy, and perfectly suitable to the situation. Third, a superconscious solution will give you a burst of happiness and excitement, even exhilaration. It will be one of those shining moments that you remember for a long time. Whenever you get a superconscious solution, it will come accompanied by the energy, enthusiasm, and motivation you need to take action immediately. You will have an irresistible desire to implement the solution right now. You will want to stop everything else you are doing to take action. And you will always be right. Trust is the key requirement. Your superconscious mind is the most powerful faculty you have. It is available and accessible to you at all times. You dial in to your superconscious mind by being absolutely clear about what you want and then by calmly and confidently trusting that exactly the answer you need will come to you at exactly the time you are ready for it. The more you relax and trust in this great power, the better and faster it will function. It has been said that men and women begin to become great when they begin to listen to their inner voices. When you make a regular habit of listening to your intuition and trusting your inner voice, you will probably never make another mistake. By tapping into your superconscious mind, you begin to bring your whole life into harmony with this great universal power. You will achieve goal after goal, and move forward faster and faster in everything you do. You will feel as though you are plugged into some kind of cosmic energy source that enables you to accomplish vastly more, and with much less effort than ever before. Think back over your life and recall the times when your superconscious mind has worked for you. In the past, these experiences were random and haphazard. But by developing absolute clarity about your goals, and by reviewing and visualizing them regularly, you can make this superconscious power work for you consistently and predictably all the days of your life. Activate your superconscious mind. 1. Think back over your life and recall a time when you had a superconscious experience that solved a problem or enabled you to achieve a goal. Reflect on the process and think about how you can duplicate it. 2. Select your most important goal, your major definite purpose, and visualize it clearly, over and over, with complete confidence that it will materialize at exactly the right time for you. 3. Begin the daily practice of solitude and meditation. During this time, just let your mind relax and float from subject to subject until exactly the right answer to the right question pops into your mind. 4. Make it a practice to take action on a superconscious idea as soon as it comes into your mind. Don't hesitate. Have complete faith that only the best can happen when you trust in this power.